So my kids and I have this thing that we like to do where we go on Disney Plus, like if we're trying to find something to watch, and instead of finding something to watch, we just watch trailers forever. It doesn't matter if they're trailers for shows and movies that we've already seen or ones that are upcoming. Our favorites are the ones that like really pique our interest, and we will legitimately watch them over and over and over again. And it got me thinking, students look at the way we open lessons and units the same way that my kids and I look at trailers. The gateway activity is basically the trailer for what's to come in the classroom. And if it falls flat, that's the one that we're not going to finish, right? Like we're not going to finish watching that trailer. I have already lost most of our students before we even start.
Which is why we care so much about it. And so one of our very favorite strategies that we want to share with you right now is a gateway activity using picture books. Picture books are the perfect little intro to big concepts and themes. They're engaging in a way that's unexpected. Here's a fun fact. We have a whole lesson ready made for you and absolutely free to download that uses the book Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And we use it to introduce the genre of dystopia and all of the big ideas within it. So if you've ever been in the market for tricking and deceiving your students with something that's really engaging and fun, this is the lesson for you. Every single time we use Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs in the classroom, students are walking away intrigued. They're talking to each other. They're talking out the door about what happened in class. I mean, dreams really do come true. And they're thinking about what's coming the next day. All of these signs of a very successful gateway lesson.
And did we mention that the whole lesson is free? You can go and download it right now and come back to it whenever you are ready. Head to the show notes for this episode or go to shop.bravenewteaching.com/cloudy to download this lesson today. We can't wait to see how it works in your classroom. This episode is brought to you by Curriculum Rehab by us, the team here at Brave New Teaching. It is the first and only teacher PD of its kind, a course to help teachers like you by guiding you through creating your own personal framework for curriculum. You make it work for you, your students, and your unique situation because nobody else knows what the kiddos in your classroom need the way that you do. Curriculum Rehab takes all of the resources available to you, all of the lessons, the assessments, the activities, all of the texts, everything that could possibly be there for you, and it helps you organize what you actually need in order to attain your teaching objectives. These are the strategies that Amanda and myself have used in our own classrooms, have developed over very long years of teaching and figuring things out, combined together to create this framework and these strategies that we can guide you through. This course will give you the tools you need for a complete curriculum overhaul or to start from scratch. Wherever you are on that continuum, it does it all for you and with you on your timeline. So start today, do a little bit more in a couple of months, and then pick it up next summer. It's Teacher PD the way it should be on your own time. Head to curriculumrehab.com/course for more information, or just head to the show notes for this episode. We cannot wait to see you there. It's finally time to take control of what goes on in your own classroom and create the curriculum of your dreams. All right, let's get back into the show.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Brave New Teaching. It's Amanda today, and happy 4th of July week. I am guessing that many of you are just completely and totally taking this week off, whether you're teaching summer school or your kids have been in camp. It's pretty likely that you have family obligations or you're doing something to just beat the heat and try to just kind of relax with your people. And I hope that you are enjoying whatever it is that you're up to this week. We are taking a quick break from Camp BNT this week. Our author interviews have been going so well. It's been so fun talking with you all in our little Facebook chat and really just kind of diving into some new authors and new stories that we can welcome into our classrooms in the upcoming school year. And so knowing that a lot of you were going to be kind of off this week, we thought that we would just shake things up and give you a week to recover, to go back and catch up on the ones that you've missed. And we're just going to do a fun little episode today for anyone who needs it. I told Maria, I don't know if anyone cares to hear this information, but why don't we just plop it here in the middle of the summer for anyone who could find it useful? So we are going to focus today on, by we, I mean me. It's just me today. Marie is not the road trip queen. It is definitely me. I am the road trip girl through and through. From when I was a kid to even now, it's because I had a dad who loved to drive and I married a man who loves to drive. And so we take road trips all the time. And I thought, well, I know there's a lot of teachers out there who are taking advantage of their summer breaks to get on the road and go on some road trips. So I thought I would kind of compile my best road trip advice for people like us, parents who have a teaching background, right? Like, I think we are a very special breed. Even if you don't have kids, maybe you're just a teacher going on a road trip and you have that teacher edge to the way that you vacation. When we vacation, yes, we absolutely want to unwind, but I think that there's a little bit more to it for us where we want to maybe learn something, or we actually kind of slow down enough to read the placards on the roadside stops where we go. That is the kind of road tripper that we are. And I have a lot of experience, a lot of failures, a lot of successes. And I thought I would just take you through 4 main things that we keep in mind for our road trip. So we're going to talk a little bit about my car setup. I want to talk to you about memberships. I want to talk to you about apps. And then I want to go through just a list of some stuff. So full disclosure, I am going to share my Amazon affiliate list with you. At no point during this episode or ever do Marie or I expect any of you to buy anything off of that list or to even shop on Amazon. But it is currently the best way for me to catalog a list of ideas and items that you can see, scroll through, and then do what you will. Honestly, for this road trip list, most of it, I keep the list for myself so that I remember what I already have and to go find it because I already bought it or I already had it in the house and I just need to get it organized. No matter how often we go, I still need to totally reset my brain in trip mode. And so this list helps me. So you'll get access to that whole entire list and all that good stuff. But before we jump in, please don't forget to head to bravenewteaching.com/camp, register for our summer camp, and make sure that you are ready to go listening to all of our amazing author interviews this summer. We have so many fun prizes happening right now over in our Facebook group, and I don't want you to miss that. So bravenewteaching.com/camp, come join us. And without further ado, let's talk summer road tripping with Amanda. Cue the music. You're listening to Brave New Teaching, and we are so much more than a podcast.
We give teachers the inspiration, support, and tools to challenge the status quo.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a former English teacher from Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm a high school teacher from Southern California.
Join us after the show and happy hour to extend your BNT experience with instant access to our resources, workshops, and courses.
Visit shop.bravenewteaching.com/happy hour to join us today. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about a road trip, we need to talk about the car. So I am so grateful to be at a stage in my life where I have the car that I always wanted and a car that really fits my family's needs. I have not always been, I have almost never been in that situation. So I have made do in lots of other kinds of vehicles. But currently, and the one I'm talking about right now with our most recent trips, I am driving a Kia Telluride. This episode is not sponsored by Kia. However, I must sing the praises of this vehicle. I love it. My husband is wary about the transmission. I guess after I get past 100,000 miles, he's a little nervous, but I think that's a lot of cars, right? Especially new cars that haven't all made it that far. So anyway, I've had no issues with my Telluride whatsoever, other than some cosmetic things. I have loved this car. I have driven this car. For those of you who don't remember, I was doing a pretty serious commute to school for a long time. And this car was a little bit part of that commute. It's also just the one that we always take on our trip. So we are putting miles on this baby. The thing I like about the Telluride, 3 rows. It's an SUV, but it's not super high. I think it feels more like a like a hatchback than it does an SUV. And I like that feeling. It feels more like a car. I'm used to driving a car. I did really want something that was four-wheel drive capable. We do like to go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and go off-roading. This car is not really tall enough to do a lot of serious off-roading, but the four-wheel drive is great for the winter and our pretty crappy weather we get here in the Midwest. And so I like that. For road trips, third row is where the kids go. The middle two seats are for stuff. Because I have it, I like to use it. I really like having extra space between the driver and the passenger, a big empty space, and then the children. I like having them further away for reasons that are many, but I'm sure you can assume why. It's just nice. I feel like when they're a little further away, mostly, they tend to problem solve more on their own. They're not quite as quick to interrupt or say, Mom, 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 Dad, Dad, Dad. They're not asking for stuff. We set them up back there kind of in their own little world. We create their space, that we show them how to access all their things, and they're not constantly asking us for anything. And I really like that. So the third row works well. Now, that said, our stuff we put on the roof. So we had a rooftop box. Oh gosh, I want to say it was a Yakima rooftop box. And that's where we kept our luggage and anything that was for the destination. So our setup was brilliant and I loved it because kids were in the back, our stuff was on top, and then our hotel bag, it was in the trunk. So the trunk space is pretty small when the third row is up. But the system we designed is that the trunk was for anything that needed in and out access. Anything that is for the destination goes up in the box on top of the car. So let's say we drove to Disney last summer. We took 2 days and then one night at a hotel because we went slowly and deliberately and made stops and had fun. So what we did was we packed one small rolling suitcase for that first hotel night. Everyone's hotel stuff was in one small bag. The only other thing that was in the trunk was our cooler and food, like things that we were going to have on the road. And that was it. So when we got to the hotel, we didn't need to dig through our other 2 suitcases. We didn't even need to go onto the rooftop box. We just grabbed the hotel bag. It had all of our toiletries, all of our stuff for sleeping, all of our stuff for the next day. It was pre-packed, knowing that that was the only thing going into the hotel. That is an ideal situation when you're on a road trip. If you can have a hotel bag separate from your other stuff, it will be so nice and easy for you. That said, it depends on the trip. If your trip's a little bit longer, this gets a little bit harder to do. I think the most I'd be able to probably pull off is 2 or 3 nights with that small rolling suitcase. And if it was that long, I would add to that a soft-sided bag, like a Vera Bradley bag, something like that, for the dirty stuff. When you're using just that small travel bag, you don't want to keep shoving the dirty stuff back in with the clean stuff. That's kind of nasty. So have a soft-sided bag for yourself that you can bring in and throw all that dirty laundry in. The plastic bags in the hotel room are never big enough for all 4 of us for our dirties. So we like to have a separate bag. The soft bag is nice because that's super easy to bring to the laundromat or the next hotel that has coin laundry. It's super easy. The other thing we try to bring in when we go into hotels for those like quick stays, right? Like not the hotel that if you're going to stay there, but the hotels that you're kind of turning around. My kids love to swim in hotel pools. I don't really love that so much. I just don't really like getting wet anymore now that I'm like almost 40. But the kids love it and they look forward to it. We don't have a pool at home, so it's a big treat. That said, another part of this luggage system for the hotel stays, the quick hotel stays, is having a wet bag. A wet bag is what we will use for any pool toys or goggles, things like that we want to bring in and out. That wet bag can go easily in the laundry bag, no problem. And I'm going to talk about it on my stuff list later. But another thought that crossed my mind, sometimes we have a hard time with swimsuits drying quickly overnight. Every hotel bathroom is different, and sometimes bathrooms don't have enough circulation or a fan, and sometimes the kids' suits and even my husband's suit sometimes are not fully dry the next day, we're thinking about investing in a small, like a handheld dryer of some sort. Like a blow dryer works sometimes, but not always. But we're thinking about maybe getting, I'll show it to you on my Amazon list, but we're thinking about getting one of those because a stinky wet bathing suit getting stinky at the beginning of the trip is awful because then you either wear it and you smell or or you have to wait until you can do laundry to have a clean suit again. So a couple of options for the wetsuit situation. Bring a handful of bathing suits. With the kids, that's super easy because they take up like no real estate at all. They're so small. But for you as the adult, you can only bring so many bathing suits. Think about your suit drying plan if you're going to be in and out overnight. So that is the basics of our car setup. Now, what goes in the middle rows, you ask? It depends, right? For me, a lot of times our road trips are connected to work. For me, I'm like going to a school to do PD. So that's usually where I'll have like my boxes of workbooks, and I bring tote bags to schools. I bring books and giveaway prizes and stuff like that. So usually the middle is where I keep all that stuff safe. The middle row is also usually where I keep a lot of our like organizational totes and the toys or the books and the things that we're going to be doing in the car. Or it can be like our most recent trip, and it can be where the luggage goes when your rooftop carrier gets blown off in a tornado. We were driving through central Illinois on our way to Phoenix, and on the way, we didn't drive through a tornado. We drove through a tornado warning. It was north of us. We could see the area. It was not by us, but the wind was very strong. And we were trying to drive pretty fast to get away from this area. And in our haste to drive quickly, we kind of forgot about the rooftop box. I mean, it's just always up there. So all of a sudden we heard a little movement up on top of the car, and we opened the sunroof window to witness the last 10 seconds of the life of our rooftop box. And the lid to the box, and this is this was like I want to say it was like $450 for this box that was on our roof. We got it on Facebook Marketplace. So it was used, or it was gently used at the time. But these boxes are expensive. They're an investment. And it was a good one, right? The cheaper you get, the less reliable they are, or they don't lock very well, or they don't sit on the car very well. So like we did kind of go for a mid-range box. The lid ripped clean off in the wind, gone. And we watched it, and it's covered in all of our stickers we've been collecting from every place we've been. And we just watch it fly off the car into another lane of traffic. And there was nothing we could do. Luckily, it blew off into a ditch before anything else happened, thank goodness. But we had to pull over in this tornado warning to take the luggage down that luckily didn't fly off either because I don't pack light. So those suitcases were very full, and we had to move those into the middle row. So I guess it was a good thing that my middle row was not too full. Because it ended up having to be where all of the luggage went. When my husband said, hey, like, why don't we just put the kids in the middle and then we could just fold the third row down and put the luggage back there? I said, no, you've got to be crazy. The kids are staying. So that is that story. And that's generally how our car layout works out for us. Okay. A couple of other things when it comes to, let's go to memberships. Okay, so we talked about the car setup. Let's talk about memberships. Memberships, this is take it or leave it depending on your road trip style, but there are a couple of things that we discovered that are pretty freaking awesome. So first of all, if you are doing a road trip for seeing national parks, whenever we're in the West, at least, we try to make sure that we cross some national parks off of our bucket list. It's a big reason that we choose the road trip over flying, is so that we can see things and slow down. If you are going to see multiple parks, I highly recommend getting a national parks season pass. It's $80. It gets you into all national parks for a year for just the $80. That's for your whole vehicle. It's totally worth it. It's important to us to support the National Park Service anyway. And then it also will cover you for a lot of the national monuments and some other sites and places. Like I don't know, man, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure our other trip to Wyoming, it got us into Mount Rushmore. even though Mount Rushmore is not a park, it's a monument. It will get you into a lot of places for free with the pass or with a discount, which is awesome. Along the same lines, we also are registered with the National Park Service Conservancy. The Conservancy program is not a national park federally funded initiative. They're a conservancy project, and they do a lot of additional work to help keep the parks protected and safe and clean. Those donations go to help, like I said, with animals, with the plant life, with research, science, also it will go to rescues and things like that if needed. And so we did make a donation to the National Park Conservancy. There is a teacher discount associated with that as well. And so once you are a Conservancy member, you will get discounts at a lot of the shops and visitor centers and stores along your journey. So that was worth it. That was a donation that we were very happy to make, and that was a good one. Okay, the last membership that I would highly recommend, especially if you have young kids, is to check out your local museum's family pass or annual pass of whatever that might be, and see if they're part of the reciprocal museum network. So we are members at the Milwaukee Public Museum, and we have a family annual pass there, which is crazy because we used to have it at the Children's Museum, and now the kids are so big that we don't even go to Betty Bryn anymore, which is just, oh my gosh, it's crazy to watch your kids go from the littles to they're both in elementary school now. So anywho, we did purchase that family annual membership thinking, okay, well, we got to just use it twice and it'll be worth it. It's fine. It was like $100 or $125, something like that, which is a lot of money. And, in the wintertime, we're all kind of desperate for things to do that are indoor. So that desperation definitely came into play. What I didn't know until I was at the counter is that Milwaukee Public, and I don't know what museum close to you would qualify, but they are part of a reciprocal museum network. And so there are, I want to say, at least 100 other museums on this list that with this membership include membership and admittance to all of these other places. It's incredible. We've been to the Milwaukee Public Museum at least twice just in 2025. And then we were able to get into the Madison Children's Museum, which was very cool and definitely designed for bigger kids. Madison for free. We went to Chicago's our science museum we were able to go to for half off, which was a steal. We did that. And then on our latest road trip, we were able to use it multiple times. We used it at the Omaha Zoo for a very steep discount. I think we got 50% off our zoo admission with this membership. And then we also got into the Oklahoma City Science Museum for free. And some of these museum entry fees are really expensive, especially if you're going to be on a road trip and you're just kind of popping in. Popping in for $30 a head is an expensive investment on a road trip, but popping in because you already have a membership is pretty freaking sweet. I didn't realize that there were so many. And so now when we drive, we try to either plan our stops around or make an effort to kind of if it's not like an afternoon stop, but like actually stay for the night so that we can go to some of these places that are on that reciprocal list and explore some other parts of the country and other museums that we would never spend full price to go to because we don't have enough time. So definitely check that out by you. I will put in the show notes my information, and then I'd be happy to talk to you on the side. Feel free to just send me a DM. We can talk more if you have questions, but it's pretty awesome. And again, this is an episode for teacher parents or teacher travelers. We are the kind of nerds that are trying to go to freaking museums as a little pit stop on a road trip. Okay. I don't know. There's something wrong with us, but I love a good museum and I can't help it. I can't help it. Okay. Next section for this episode that I don't know, 5 people are going to listen to. If you're still with me, you must really love this stuff. When it comes to booking your hotels and your stays, there are a couple of things that I would recommend, and I know that there are people who know a lot more about this than I do, but it does benefit you to think through your plan of action for the long haul when it comes to choosing the hotel brands that you stay with. I travel a lot. I travel for work, I travel for pleasure, and I've always been a traveler. I don't particularly like staying at only one hotel brand, right? Like my dad is a hardcore Marriott person, and it actually got to the point where it was like annoying that we could never stay anywhere else. And I don't like that. I don't like being locked in. However, becoming or getting a rewards account at a handful of your favorite chains is smart. So whenever you stop, whether maybe you have like a top 3, maybe you like Marriott, Hilton, and something else, right? Whatever those groups are, make sure that you have your rewards account. Make sure that you have the individual apps for those rewards accounts and hotels. Have those saved on your phone and ready to go. It's helpful because when you're tracking your points or tracking your rewards, or if there are bonuses and if you're paying attention to stuff like that, you can get free nights. And that's huge. So I keep Marriott Bonvoy and I keep the Hilton apps on my phone. Those are typically the 2 places that I stay. A lot of times I'm staying at places that are chosen for me for conferences. And those 2 tend to be the most frequently chosen locations for conventions and conferences and stuff. So that's where I save a lot of my points is when I go to those. I also have on my phone booking.com. Booking is just my personal favorite. I know some people use other ones. I've liked Booking. I have been using Booking for a long time. I get a lot of great discounts through them, especially when we're on the road and in places that are the middle of nowhere, right? Like we've stayed in places where there are only 2 hotel options and neither of them is a Marriott or a Hilton. And that's fine. That's actually, I like that. I like staying in different places as much as I can. I also like accumulating points and getting free stuff. So it's a balance for sure. But Booking is great. Booking has, for me, had really consistent customer service. I feel like the reviews are really solid on Booking and I like them. I don't know. I'm a genius level 3 or something like that. I don't know what that all means, but a lot of times I'll get 10% off or I'll get mobile prices. We do not book our hotels for the road ahead of time. We book them while we're driving. A couple of reasons why. One, we can either drive further or shorter than the plan was, and it's no big deal. We don't have to worry about canceling anything. And number 2, sometimes we like to get surprised by what we find on the road, and that's awesome. The only time that we will book ahead of time is when we know for sure we're going to be in an area where there aren't a lot of options and it's a busy season. So on our way home from the Grand Canyon, if you know that area of the country, it's surrounded by a lot of reservation land. And reservation land is relatively sparse. Reservations do have wonderful hotels and places to stay. But when we left Grand Canyon headed toward Colorado, we did make a reservation at a hotel in the Navajo Nation ahead of time because we knew it was going to book up. We knew it was going to be a really popular place to stay. And there were only, I think, 3 hotels in that area. So sometimes if you're doing your planning ahead of time, that's when we would book in advance. Also, we knew that day of driving, it was maybe only 2 or 3 hours of driving total. So we knew we'd be able to do it. On those days that we're going to try to pull 7, 8, 9 hours, we definitely don't have a hotel picked so that we are not stuck having to be at a certain place. We can just kind of make that decision as we need to. So, okay, so that was what was going to roll me into apps. So I have booking.com, Hilton, Bonvoy, and then the National Park Service. I have those apps on my phone always. The National Parks app is wonderful. You'll have everything you need on there for opening times, closures, everything you know about trails. If there are demonstrations, a lot of times if the park that you're at has Indigenous peoples who are there, they will do demonstrations and talks and showcase different things. You can go to those events. Sometimes park rangers will be doing talks and you'll be able to see all the times for all those. And it's been pretty reliable loading, even in some of the zones where there's not a lot of Wi-Fi or a lot of internet at all. And I like that. That's a great app to have. If you are traveling to national parks in the summer of 2025, it's going to be frustrating. They are understaffed. They are in the midst of a revolution at the moment. So yes, I feel like we absolutely need to go patronize these parks. We need to be there and we need to talk about how important they are to us, but we have to do it with patience and directing our frustration at the right people. The rangers are not the ones to be frustrated with right now. So just if you're going to go to these parks, get there early, just like you would anytime you're traveling in high season, right? Like if it's a popular park, get there before they open. So there's going to be a line. Or use this summer maybe to travel to some of the less busy parks. We visited Mesa Verde. Was, oh my gosh, it was such a cool park. There was like nobody there. When we went to the Badlands in South Dakota, oh my gosh, what a gorgeous, gorgeous park. Almost nobody there. Yellowstone and Yosemite and Grand Canyon, these big parks are going to get really full of visitors, but be smart about it. Go visit the parks, but be patient this year and make your voice heard about all of that. Other apps that you're going to want to think about having for the road. Weather Channel is annoying with its ads, but very good about having national weather approach. It's easy to kind of track weather systems where you're going. I like that. Like with some of like the radar and like local weather apps, I can't always do that the way that I like it with the Weather Channel one. Dark Skies is another great weather monitoring app. I don't know. Some of us like to travel in the spring when there's like hail, rain, tornadoes, and all the things all at once. It's fine. We also like the All Trails app. So All Trails is great. We use that. We don't even use it only on vacation. We use it at home too. All Trails lets you see what trails are nearby. So walking, jogging, taking the stroller, it'll tell you if the trails are gravel, if they're paved, what their elevation is, if they're easy, difficult, hard, medium. They'll usually users will upload reviews of the trail, pictures. And it's just a great, again, like if you're going to pull over and you want to stretch your legs and you want to look for a specific place, you could pull over at a forest preserve rather than a gas station, and you could go for a little walk. So that's a really nice app we really like to use often. There is a free version. The paid version lets you download maps offline, and it's more usable without internet. So if you're a hardcore hiker, it might be worth the paid version, but we just use the free and it's pretty nice. Another great app, speaking of exits, called iExit. iExit gives you the information of what is close by to every exit on the United States interstate system. And that's very, very cool. The other thing we use, I prefer whatever the maps are on my iPhone. I like that map button. And whenever I can, I know that we're going to come up for a stop, I will search playgrounds near me. And playgrounds near me is a great way to pull over, let the kids play on the playground, and then we will have whatever our cooler lunch is. If you have a cooler lunch ready to go, stop at a playground, stop somewhere that the kids can get their energy and their wiggles out. Okay, and then this is going to kind of transfer over into stuff, but my kids absolutely have their tablets and I have my phone. Have your Libby, have your Hoopla. You can do your Libby and Hoopla for the kids if you have a chance before you go. Download those apps onto your kids' devices, make sure that they have their own library cards, and let them start checking out audiobooks. That is one great way for them to use their tablet in a different way. And my kids would love it. They'd be like, okay, Mom, I'm going to do 10 minutes of reading. We were in the middle of a readathon when we were doing ours. And they would just say, okay, put the timer on for 10 minutes. I'm going to listen to my Minecraft story for 10 minutes. And they would, and they loved it. They love listening to audiobooks and looking out the window. So don't forget about using those apps for the other people in your car. The last app, and I had to double check, Ashley Bible shared this one with me, the app called Ben, Been, Ben. It's a travel log. So you can, every time you go through a state or you go to a state, you can check off that you've been there. You can upload your pictures from that state. This is international actually, but you can just keep track of all the places that you've been. And it's a really cute way to do that and catalog it. Okay. Finally, this episode is so not just a quick little thing, but I hope that so far you've gotten some good ideas and you're feeling like, I'm ready for a road trip. Okay, the stuff. Okay, this is my Amazon list. I'm not going to talk about everything on it, but I will link it for you so that you have some ideas, things to look for in your house first, right? Like source what's already at home. Buy what you absolutely know that you can't recreate from the stuff that you have. And a lot of the things that are on this list you can find at Dollar Tree, you can find secondhand, you can find other places. So let's talk through my go-tos. Okay, so for keeping kids entertained, and I don't know that I'm going to be organized enough to organize this list also. But there are a lot of things that I keep in the car. First and foremost, I said it earlier, I am not monitoring their tablet device screen time at all. I don't monitor it. I don't track it. I don't time it. I am not here for that. If we're on vacation, we're on vacation and it's fine with me. I think a big reason that I am able to let it go is because we typically have very structured travel plans. So I know that on this trip, we are going to be visiting 3 national parks and XYZ. And I know that there are these screen free and family focused times of why we're all together. And so I'm not worried about like the kids watching the 3rd round of Descendants as we drive through the absolute nothingness that is Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas. I mean, no shade. If you live there, you know what I mean. The driving is rough and it's boring. So I'm not about to monitor that. I know that the trip has got lots of other things going on than the screens. One other way that I mitigate screen time is just making sure that there are other things to do within arm's reach. So a lot of times I will stack the back with workbooks. My kids love doing workbooks. I bring stickers so that if they want to do a workbook page, I'll let them like do it. I'll time them. Then they can pass me the workbook and I will give them a sticker if they do well. We just do it for fun. They are, of course, like skill-based and practicing for their grade level or practicing based on the place where we are. And we'll do that. So I've linked to my Amazon storefront. I've one amazing book my friend Amy Lemons wrote. It's called How to Draw Animals. And so it's directed drawing, which we love on like Art Hub for Kids. We love it on YouTube. But when the kids are in the car, they can't do that kind of drawing. So her drawing book is so adorable. My kids absolutely love it in the car and otherwise. I also linked 2 workbooks from my friend Molly that she wrote that are the kind of skill-based and skill practice, but the worksheets are really cute. They're very fun to do. And like I said, the kids love getting a sticker when they've finished a page. And because they're in a book, because they're in a workbook, we don't have loose things flying everywhere. I also have 2 that are written by Nicole Clayson. She wrote Fun with 50 States and Fun with National Parks. These are big activity books for kids about the US or about the national parks. And they are definitely for kids that are a little bit bigger than mine. She says 6 to 10 on there. I would say it's closer to like 7 to 10. And they're great because they have some word searches, some word scrambles, some color by number. And it's all mixed up and you can focus on the states that you drove through or the parks that you visited. And those are great. And then I just keep those for the next road trip and the next road trip and the next road trip. The other thing that I've used in the car with my kids are composition notebooks. And then I guess I should say not the car, but for when we get out of the car and we're like in a restaurant or we go into the hotel, I like my kids to journal about their experiences as often as they can. It's not always every day, but these composition notebooks that I linked in here are great for the littles. The top half of the page has space to draw, and then the bottom half has the writing lines for kids. One thing we did that was so fun is I bought a Fujifilm, like a Polaroid camera. And so we would take Polaroid pictures and then I bought some glue dots and we would put our Polaroid pictures in the journal. And then I had the kids write about the story of their day with Polaroids. My kids love to draw. So like we could definitely draw also, but it was really fun to like kind of make a scrapbook as we went. It was really, really cool. So that's great. I put a couple of different versions in there for you to look at, but those notebooks are fantastic. So let's talk about more of the driving. So when kids are in the back and they're doing their stuff, I do like to have some reward systems in place. They're very loose. I don't hold very strictly to any rules, but typically I will come up with like a sticker chart or some kind of sticker system where they can earn stickers to get things that I already planned on getting for them. So, for example, they could earn, I don't know, 5 stickers will earn them a slushie at the next gas station. Like, I was definitely going to let them go to the slushy thing at the next Buc-ee's. Like, I wasn't going to say no. So I kind of incentivized the kids with things that I was already on board with. And then the things that they do to earn the stickers are things like finish a workbook page, take out the trash at the gas station, tidy your area, things that I was going to nag them to do anyway. So I sort of loosely gamify the situation when I'm really on it. Usually I'm really on it on the first leg of the trip, not so much on the back leg because everyone's tired. But things like that, I will loosely fold into some kind of sticker system, and that's great. So I linked a couple of sticker charts on there for you if you want to try that. But yeah, like 10 minutes of reading time and like they can pick when they want to do it. Like it's their sticker chart. So again, I'm not monitoring anything other than them saying, hey, mom, I want to earn a sticker. Can I do X, Y, or Z? And I say, sure. And that's it. It's pretty simple. But keeping the car clean is hard to do in the back when we have them so far back there because I'm lazy and I don't always get out and see what's going on back there every time, you know? Okay, for the back of the car, a couple other recommendations. I do like having for them stuff to draw with. However, I don't like pencil boxes for the car. They are usually too bulky, they get stepped on, and they hold too much. I have in my Amazon list 2 examples of what I'm about to share. I like vertical zipper bags for the kids. The vertical ones are the best because they fit in cup holders. So when they're drawing, their markers are standing up straight in the cup holder in their container. So I have a couple different versions, but if you can find a vertical cup holder sized pencil bag. That's the best way for me. I've had to store markers, crayons, colored pencils, dry erase markers, whatever the kids are using. If you have one of those, you're going to be really grateful. It's just so much easier for them to manage on their own, right? That is the key. Independence. I need them to be on their own. I don't need to be handling this all the time. That's my favorite way to do it. The same goes with snacks. Snackle boxes are where it's at. They're not just trendy and cute, they're actually incredibly practical. I love the portion control comes from me. I love the visual appeal when I just had like a bunch of snacks thrown into a box. Or a bag of some sort. And the kids would be like, I'm hungry. And I'd say, okay, I have Teddy Grahams, I have pretzels, and then I'd have to go through the whole menu every time. With a snackle box, I have already put snacks in there that they told me they wanted let's say it's the morning, right? We're leaving our hotel. We're going to go on the next leg of our track. We look at the snackle box and I say, okay, what do you want in your snackle box today? And they pick everything out at the beginning. And then they're not getting a refill. They're not getting more snacks until they finish the snacks that they already picked. And everything is separated. Nothing's touching anything else. And it's done. So there are a couple, again, I linked a couple different versions of them on there. I like getting a version that's small enough that I can have one per kid, 2 different colors, no fighting. You have your snackle box and it's ready to go. I don't mind holding it up in the front or holding it in the middle, but I don't like the distribution of, right, who wants a snack now, then later, then. I can also, if I'm really feeling good, I can make sure that there are 4 sections that have snacks and 4 sections that have fruit, or 2 for candy, 2 for snacks, 2 for fruit, or whatever. You can do it that way. And the Snackle Box system will help you be a little bit more on top of that. So take a look at the ones that I have linked for you. I did link our cooler that we keep in the trunk so you can see what that one is. I linked a portable Wi-Fi hotspot. This is the one that we use, but the one we use, we actually get from the library. I don't own this, but I did find the same one that we have from the library. So at our local library, it's usually a long wait, but you can check out mobile hotspots from there. So if you think of it with enough time to get on that wait list, if there's a wait list at your library, bring a mobile hotspot. It's so nice. No, we don't need to be constantly connected to the internet, but I feel like whenever we do need internet, at least we have it. Also for the kids and their tablets, I've found that when we are kind of cheap, so we don't buy tablets with a lot of memory. So when we're on the move, right, kids can only watch the movies that are downloaded, or they can only play the games that are downloaded. And that space fills up super quickly. So if they're on the Wi-Fi, they can watch a wider variety and play a wider variety of things on their tablet, including books. And so having that Wi-Fi really helps, again, especially when you're headed to a destination that's going to have kind of spotty Wi-Fi to begin with. We spend a lot of our time in like the North Woods and on national parks areas, like very relatively remote. So it really helps to have a hotspot. Oh my gosh. I just checked how much time I've been talking. You guys, this is so long. I'm so sorry. I hope this is helpful. Again, please let me know what else I can do to support you. Okay, a couple of car games that we like. Anything from Hasbro's miniature line. They've got lots of great miniature games. Most games, though, I would say we play on our breaks at the hotel, at our meal stops, and having those ready to go is great. And again, like another great way to connect and then not police the screen time stuff, because tablets stay in the car. Like when we go into the hotel or we go into the restaurants, we go in to do whatever, they don't come with us. So I do love bringing a game. Like there's a great, like a tiny little Simon. You want the one that like lights up. You have to like push the buttons and like match it. I love playing Simon. We love a good game of Uno. They have a miniature Bop It. Again, love that hand-eye coordination. We're always rolling, laughing at each other. A newer game that we started playing at our hotel not too long ago was Moose Match Mayhem, which is part of that line with Wild Wild Taco, if you've seen that one before. It's a matching game, but it's like if a matching game met war. Like you're trying to slap cards and make matches and make piles. And I've played this with my kids when they were, let's see, Soch was six. So 6 and 7 was the youngest I've played this game with them. And we love it. I think students would love this too in the classroom, but it's great for a road trip. It's just a card deck. So simple. Like those are the kinds of things that I can fit in my purse. And when we're waiting for a table or we're waiting for our food, we can play a game and we can have that kind of connection time. Okay, these are going to sound random because they're not really in order, but the next thing I would throw on your list is a fresh bag of socks. I buy a new bag of just kind of generic unisex cotton socks. I do usually buy them from the Amazon Essentials. I'll buy those and I keep them in the car. Why? Well, socks go missing. Socks are, I don't know. I feel like I don't do a very good job of keeping track of them in the house. So when we're on a trip, they're definitely almost always gone. If the weather is good, this is not necessarily something that comes with me because we're going to wear sandals and it's fine. But any season where there's a potential for when we get out of the car for the kids' feet to get wet, there's going to be extra socks in my car. So if you're organized enough that you have like a backup stash of socks, bring your backup stash or just buy a fresh, like a little half dozen, have some extra clean socks in your car. I like to have them for myself too. I don't know, just there's something about just refreshing your feet that needs to happen when you're on the road. You know. Also, no guarantees of when you're going to get laundry next. So there's that. Let's see. We were kind of on hygiene. Let's go to health. Not easy to stay super healthy on a road trip. You can usually start out strong, but it doesn't always stay. Bring a multivitamin gummy, especially for the kids. Like staying healthy and not getting sick is key. We have had way too many times that we've gotten sick. And when we started being like really regimented about taking our vitamins, it really did help with the travel. You're in strange places, you're touching all the things, and you can have all the sanitizer that you want in the world, but it's really good to stay on top of your vitamins. Cups for the car. I linked an Awala and a Zach cups that we like. We will typically not, if we get fast food or if we're getting food at a gas station, we will usually buy whatever the largest size is of something and then divide it amongst the kids into their own cups. Mostly it's just to cut down on the trash that goes to the back. We don't, the more trash we send back there, the more that disappears and we never see again. And it's just not great. So we do like a reusable cup system back there, whatever you like. You probably already have some in your house. Again, we like the stainless steel. And sometimes whenever we travel, usually is a pretty good time to refresh what we have because my son's still bites his straws. And it's just, oh my gosh, it makes me crazy. Random thought, but do you have something to keep your coins organized in your car? I have coins everywhere. And then finally, I got a little coin holder. Makes a huge difference. And yes, I'm still using coins mostly for coin laundry on road trips. And it's really helpful to have it. Also, the kids always want to do that pressed penny thing. You know, you pay $1 and then you put in a penny to do the thing. Yeah, I can never find my pennies. So, like, coins are almost obsolete, but when I want them, I can never find them. So, a coin organizer I use for that. I have a keychain holder for my hair ties, super important. If your kids get motion sickness or anybody else in your car gets motion sickness, have vomit bags on hand. I linked the ones that I have for the plane, for the car. I always have one nearby. My daughter gets very nauseous in the car. So I got that for her. I also keep Dramamine in kids Dramamine, and for me, I keep it also in our little medicine bag for us. Okay, a little bit of, if you've never used it, I really like Miss Mouth's Messy Eater Stain Treater. She also has a shoe cleaner. These are wipes to take care of those messes on the spot if you can. I am, again, type B, ADHD. Most stuff I just forget about, but we're on the road and there's a stain on something that we kind of like and don't want it to get stained, either a Shout wipe or a Tide pen, or I like these stain treaters. These are just wipes. I like having those on hand because I can take care of the stain as best as I can in the moment. And then I deal with it when I get to the next washing, which who knows when that's going to be. Very important, those of you listeners, because I know you guys love to read. Travel hack for you. Get a separate carrying case for your books. If you love to read, whether it's your Kindle or it's your physical books, I used to make the mistake of just kind of like chucking my book on the dash or wherever in my passenger seat area. And I've gotten books ruined that way, or they've gotten just kind of spilled on or whatever. It's not great. And so I got these cute little like book sleeves that just zipper at the top. I can put my book inside because I still annotate all my annotation materials and my bookmarks and all my book stuff. I throw into the zipper bag. It's like my little bookcase. I know that that's where my book is, and I just keep it all together. No one bothers it. No one touches it. It doesn't get lost, and it doesn't fall through any cracks. I really, really love that, and I included that on the list for you. A sketchbook for the kiddos. Always keep that. My kids really like to draw on blank paper, so having a spiral bound option is great so that things are not loose all over the place. I linked a few other just kind of fun games and things that we've used in multiple variations of our trips, both on the road and on the plane, that we love. Brain Quest, again, another really fun thing to do as a whole car and a whole family. I've got some scavenger hunts on here. I've got our national parks journal book. We have another one that I couldn't find online, and we bought it at a store at the national parks, like a visitor center. So they have them at the visitor center too. But there are some really cute ones on Amazon that I think some people have designed on their own that are just adorable. I have my portable clothes dryer on here. So I have not purchased this, but I'm very serious about getting it, especially for wet stuff or anything that gets super wrinkled for me. If I'm going to present the next day, I probably should have something like this in my arsenal. I added for you also some clickable markers that we really like. Do not even bother with things that are capped. Caps are pointless. Get the clickable markers. Crayola has some. Joycat has some. You're going to love them no matter what. I put our wet bag is on here as well. So if you are going to be going to the pool or the beach, our wet bag is on there. And so are our collapsible beach buckets. Because sometimes when we do our road trips up to Michigan, we're going up and down the lake, or even in Wisconsin too. And it's really nice to have, if the kids want to play in the sand, those buckets take up no space because they just collapse right in on side of themselves. And it's pretty sweet. I said the last thing that I put on here that I think might be helpful if you've never done it or thought of it is having some kind of lighting system for the back of the car for the kids. The lights for me on the Telluride are like way too bright and annoying where they are to have them on consistently, like if the kids are playing or reading back there. And so I have these like lanterns that I have them hook a little bit lower in the vehicle so they're not in the rear view mirror. And I like those a lot. Those also are nice at the hotel if the kids are, we're going to put like the big lights are going to come off, but they wanted to still like do something, they can have that little light on. I really like them. Portable, super easy. We like them for camping, for all sorts of things. Okay, this little tiny little episode has been longer than anything we've done in a very long time, but I hope that these ideas are going to help you on your road trip going forward. Please share this with any other nerdy teacher traveler that you adore and love, and have a wonderful summer doing things with you and your family that are fun and energizing and refreshing and reminding you how amazing this country is and what we have to see. And if you're going across the pond, oh my gosh, have so much fun. If you're going down south, have so much fun. I can't wait to get back on the plane and do something international. We've just been doing a lot of domestic travel these days for work for me. But man, I will do another episode another day about all of my recommendations for long flights out of the country. We've done that as well. If you're just joining the podcast, I've taken my family to Iceland, Scotland, and Italy. So we've done a lot of that. And we have big plans for going down south when the kids are a little bit bigger, like maybe taking them out of school for almost a year to do a road trip down to Argentina. So there are more plans in the work as always. But for now, you have way more than you probably asked for when listening to this episode. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your summer. We will see you back next week for another episode of Camp BNT, and I can't wait for you to hear who we're talking to next. We'll see you over in the Facebook group, bravenewteaching.com/camp, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Have a great week. Thanks again for listening to Brave New Teaching.
We'd love to keep the conversation going over on Instagram.
And while you're there, check out the links in our bio for the most up-to-date events going on in Happy Hour and the Brave New Teaching community.
Thanks for being here and have a great week at school.